Hi everybody, today I'm going to be talking about the books and the film that we have looked at this week. First, I'm going to talk about the Sarah Dessen book I chose, Saint Anything. And this book I thought was really great and definitely going to be something that our students will relate to. Just because there are so many young adult characters and they're all going through different things in their lives. So for example, our main character, Sydney, she has just transferred schools and, she's dealing with making friends and, trying to fit in. But her home life, and one of the reasons why she transferred from school, is because her brother actually just got arrested and sentenced. He's serving jail time because he drunk drove and he paralyzed another adolescent. So she's going through that. She's feeling guilt, and also, throughout the book, she struggles with her parents. She thinks her parents don't see her, that she's alone, that that they're preoccupied, and she's not priority. And there's also the friends that she does make. There's their mother is sick. They have a family business, and the son is expected to take over the business. I just think that these characters are extremely relatable, and they are, going through things that our students could be going through. And it's a book I definitely think has merit. So for the quote I chose, I said, her mother said this. She said, "I saw you." And then it goes on to say, "Me, surrounded by people I cared about. Me being a good person, a good friend, all the things she prided herself on having taught me. After so many months of looking at me only in the context of my brother, finally, in that bright institutional light, my mother had glimpsed me simply as Sydney, without no precedent or comparison." So finally, at the end of the novel, she feels that her mother has accepted that she won't go down the path that her brother had, that she sees her as an individual, not comparing her to her brother. And there's also realization in the novel as well about, her brother. She obviously resents him for what he did to the boy and her family. And he finally, she's like, "Why did you do this? Why would you get into all these bad things?" And she, he said that it was mostly pressure from mom and dad, which I assume is a reality for a lot of our students, that they feel pressured, that they don't want to disappoint their parents. So again, a lot of characters in this book, all adolescents, all definitely relatable, going through issues that, I assume our students will be going through or are going through now. So really great. Okay. The Gary Paulson book I read on my Kindle. And so it's an ebook. I chose Hatchet, which I had read in middle school, and I remember I really liked it, so I wanted to read it again so I could pull it apart for literacy merit, and if it is truly relatable. I think it's a good book. I think it's definitely got a hook to it. It's about survival. It's interesting to see how he survives and how his mentality changes. But the problem with this book, I think, is that there's only one character, only one adolescent, and the only major problem in the book besides his survival is that he's, mentally he keeps replaying his parents' divorce and why that happened, and the secret, he calls it, because he saw his mother with another man. So divorce could be a relatable topic for students. But other than that, I don't see any more topics that is relatable with students. Yes, I think it would be interesting for them, might hook them into reading because, it's about survival. It's an interesting read. And our students might be into hunting and surviving and being in the woods, but other than that, I didn't see much, literary merit. But the quote I chose, I thought could relate to students. I said, time had come, time that he measured but he didn't care about. Time had come into his life and moved out and left him different. So he's saying he's changed over time. Time in the woods, he's become a different person, has gained all these instincts. And I think that could be relatable to students because you do, as a person, change over time. You see the realities of the world, find your place in it, and you change. So I thought that was relatable. And then I will talk about the movie. So, I thought Perks of Being a Wallflower was a great book, or great movie. I didn't read the book. I thought it was really relatable, comparable to the Sarah Dessen book that I read, in that there were so many characters, all adolescents going through different things in their lives. Our main character, he was going through suicide, sexual abuse, mental health issues, moving into high school, learning, how to make friends, how to blend in, how to survive high school. And then you have his friends. You have Sam, who's a wonderful friend to him, but she's also has her own demons with relationships, romantic relationships. She's had her mother remarrying. That was mentioned that her father was not a good role model. And then you have Patrick, who's homosexual, who is dealing with his own relationship issues, in that Brad won't accept their relationship and want it to go public. And then when his father finds out, it actually turns out to be catastrophic and violent, and the relationship is pretty much over at that point. So you have characters that are like keeping things bottled in, they're hiding themselves, they're trying to do what their parents would want, trying to be who their parents would want them to be. And as you see all these characters, they have their own problems, and our main character Charlie sees that as well. And I think the quote that I chose from the movie really says something about that. He said to his therapist that everyone is suffering. So he's really realizing the suffering in this world and how everyone has their own problems, and maybe the world isn't as bright and sunny as maybe he wants that. And also in the movie and the books that I thought I'd touch on, because the textbook does, there's a lot about, alcohol, drugs, sexual relationships, other relationships, friendship relationships, all in both the book and the movie that I looked at this week. Like the book said, it's really about students learning how to cope with these things, learning that other people are going through it as well, and trying to deal with it themselves. And I definitely think the Sarah Dessen book and Perks of Being a Wallflower definitely does what our textbook had said it would, has those characteristics. Hatchet, while it was an adolescent, told from an adolescent's point of view, I thought it wasn't as relatable because of his situation. But overall, it was a great book. Both books I read were great books, and the movie as well. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. I'll talk to you later.